The Atlanta Hawks, in my opinion, have been one of the biggest winners in this year's offseason. You look at, obviously, the Dejounte Murray trade. That's a huge step for them, finding a backcourt mate for Trae Young, because you've tried basically everything from Kevin Huerter to Bogdanovich, but also picking up A.J. Griffin in the draft out of the lottery, which was very surprising. Most people didn't see him falling past 11 to the Knicks. You also pick up four vets, including a couple Holiday brothers, Aaron Holiday being one. You bring in Frank the Tank Kaminsky, Mo Harkless, as well as Justin Holiday coming in from the Sacramento Kings. And it's a very, very interesting lineup heading into this year, because I'm excited to see if they can get back to that Eastern Conference Finals level. Now, before we get started, make sure to like button and subscribe button if you do enjoy at any point, and make sure to leave me a comment down below. Now, let's go ahead and get started looking at the elite backcourt that this Hawks squad has. Dejounte Murray and Trae Young. These guys, I feel like, complement each other so well. If Dejounte needs to play off the ball offensively, he can. If Trae needs to play off the ball offensively, I feel like he can as well. The Hawks had a very, very good offense last year, but the majority of it was Trae Young pick and rolls. And now you can also try to hide Trae on defense. You have yet another elite perimeter defender, and DeJounte is not hurt half the year like some people we know, DeAndre Hunter. But I think that these two paired together, I mean, they're like yin and yang, as King of the Fourth Quarter said on his TikTok recently. Trae Young brings all the offense. DeJounte brings all the defense. I think it's a great pairing. And taking a look at how DeJounte got to Atlanta, 3 future first-round picks and a pick swap. That's a lot. One of them being a 2023 Hornets pick. They also bring in a 2025 Spurs pick, the Spurs bring in a 2023 Hornets pick, a 2025 Atlanta pick, a 2026 Atlanta pick swap, and then a 2027 Atlanta pick as well. But I don't think that's the full value you could have got for a guy like Dejounte Murray, because this Hawks team, they're still young. Trae Young is still going to be in Atlanta in 2027. DeJounte will probably still be in Atlanta in 2027. Danilo Gallinari is not even going to play a single game for the San Antonio Spurs. I think the Spurs kind of got fleeced here. I mean, yeah, you're setting yourself up to rebuild, but I think you could have gotten some better value out of it. And I think the Hawks won this trade. Now, the Kevin Huerter deal, I didn't really know how to spell Herter, so I just went with the Kevin deal. Kevin Huerter in exchange for Maurice Harkless, Justin Holiday, and a 2024 first-round pick. There was rumors that Huerter and John Collins were going to be going to Sacramento in exchange for that number 4 overall pick. Maybe it was still going to be Keegan Murray. Maybe the Hawks were going to go out and get Jaden Ivey, but then again, Ivey wouldn't have really gotten to play this year. But that's all hypothetical now, because Huerter is a Sacramento King, his welcome to the NBA moment, and the Hawks were able to replenish their draft capital just a little bit, adding in a lottery-protected first-round pick, and then bringing in a couple of veteran forwards. Now, let's take a look at their rookie that they got. Of course, they did draft, I believe, Tyrese Martin with the 51st overall pick, but the big prize of this year's draft was A.J. Griffin. I did have him ranked 11th on my NBA draft board, and you look at what he brings. 10.5 points per game last year at Duke, but that doesn't tell the full story. 6'6", 222 pounds, averaged 10.5, like I said, 4 boards, 1 assist, shot at almost 50% from the field and 44% from 3 in 24 minutes on that loaded Duke squad, where most nights he was 3rd, 4th, maybe even 5th option. On the offensive side of the ball, also had to battle back from a knee injury earlier on. But he's an elite 3-point shooter. He's got good defense. Deadly off the catch and shoot, as we see, 44% from 3. 7-foot wingspan as well. That really helps him as a defender. More so a off-the-ball defender, though, because he likes to reach when he's on the ball. That's not his biggest strength, but he's also a very smart player. Knows how to cut, knows when to cut. So I'm a big fan of this A.J. Griffin guy, because he's already proven that he can play off the ball. And so I think he fits right in. Trae Young dishing out dimes to him. Now, they did bring in a couple of Phoenix Suns this offseason, one being Frank Kaminsky, who before he was injured was actually having a fairly nice season for the Suns last year. And then they bring in Aaron Holiday to replace DeLon Wright, who goes to Washington on a 2-year, $16 million deal. So a couple of depth moves in free agency, nothing really more. As a big splash was via trade. This year, of course, with Dejounte Murray. Now, a big win for the Hawks this offseason, I think, was being able to keep both John Collins and Clint Capella. Obviously, down the line, you're probably not going to be able to keep both because you're going to have to start paying some guys more and more money. DeJounte's going to need an extension before long. So one of them will eventually probably have to go. But you're talking about that Eastern Conference Finals team. Both of these guys were playing really, really well for that squad. So I think being able to retain both, they're both, kind of ingrained in Hawks culture at this point. So I think being able to keep both of those guys is not only a win for your culture, but also for your team because, you get to retain your starting front court for yet another year heading into the season. Now, DeAndre Hunter, he's going to be needing an extension. Even though he only plays like half the season, he is in talks for a 4-year, around, I believe, $100 million extension. So he's going to be getting some big money. I think it was rumored anywhere between $80 and $100 million. So big money here for Hunter. It'll be interesting to see if the Hawks are willing to commit because, of course, Hunter not really being reliable to play in all the games. Now, let's take a look at the lineup heading into next year. I'm thinking that Dejounte Murray starts at the point guard spot with Trae Young at the 2. Obviously I'm not an inside member of the Hawks, so I don't have any inside intel. But if I had to guess, I would say that just because Trae much better off the ball, and you can just let Dejounte facilitate, and then DeAndre Hunter at the 3 there, playing hopefully close to a full season, locking up defensively. Of course, as we talked about, you have that front court of John Collins and Clint Capella coming back for yet another year. Now, the big question is, can this squad get them, back to contention? And I think the addition of Dejounte Murray will really, really help that because you finally have that guard answer alongside of Trae. But I'm not sure if they can get back to that Eastern Conference Finals. That really was a magical run. It'll be hard to recreate that same type of energy. The bench here is actually pretty nice. Aaron Holiday spent a year learning behind Chris Paul, so that's always a plus. And then you got AJ Griffin. He'll probably play some of the 2 and some of the 3, but right here we got him playing the 2 at only 6'6" again. So really good in the catch and shoot, can drive it a little bit. You got Bogdanovic there at the backup 3, being the key part of this bench here. Frank Kaminsky, if he can have another solid 9-10 points per game season, that could be really, really useful for the Hawks. And then Onyeka Okongwu, who they're hoping to continue to develop down there at the center spot. So a nice combination of vets and youth coming off the bench. They also have a few other guys. Jalen Johnson, hoping he can take that next step and maybe give him some quality minutes this year at the NBA level. Sharif Cooper, another guy, same deal. And then the 2 forwards you acquired from the Kings in Maurice Harkless and Justin Holiday. It'll be interesting to see how those guys work into the rotation because I'm sure at some point they will be getting some wing minutes. Now, with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the Hawks down in the comments below. Make sure to the like button and the subscribe button if you do enjoy at any point. Like I said, make sure to leave me a comment down below. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.